So hi everyone, my name is Mayowa. I'm Shay. Invited me over to ask me some questions regarding my medical school, my experience packing, and how studying is there, how the application process is, and at the same time I got my face beat up and I think I look cute. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay. What do I look like? I look like Awalawa's wife.
Oh, okay.
Literally. I got my bachelor's in biology. Oh, and then I got my master's in biological sciences in Massachusetts.
So what school are you presently?
So actually I'm in Antigua in the medical school. It's called American University of Antigua College of Medicine. I'm in my first year.
So do you like being a medical student?
That's actually that's a big question. Do I like being a medical student?
Yeah, so
honestly I'm gonna say yes, I do, because of the things I've been learning so far. It's actually amazing to understand the human body and how it works. Being a medical student is not easy. It's super hard. And actually, personally, I think that people who want to be doctors should actually shadow students, medical students, and the doctors, so they would actually know what they're actually getting themselves into. But to be honest, medical school is crazy. Like, it's a lot of work and dedication, and if you're really up for that, then hey, why not? But I actually like being in medical school because of what I have to learn. But to be honest, it's not easy, and I don't think medical school is for everyone. So.
Definitely. So what was the application process to your school like? Was it hard? Was it easier than getting into a US school? How do you compare both? Did you have to write the MCAT, like all the procedures basically?
So yes, you do actually have to have an MCAT score. The score for AUA doesn't really matter what score. At least just get like a 490 and above, and you're good. Let's see what else. So they usually advise, they do have an application on their website, but usually that is like actually a long process. So they usually ask you if you have a DO application on the website for DO schools or for AMCAS. Like, you can just send them your AMCAS application. So if you do have like an AMCAS application or a DO school application, you can just send that to them directly. They do have like they also, when you get accepted, or they'll tell you, they'll send an email saying that you have to you should schedule an interview. So it depends on where you are, because they have offices in New York, but mine was a Skype interview because I was far.
A Skype?
Yeah, it was a Skype interview. And then I think you have to wait 2 weeks to hear back from them to see if you got accepted. And then that's when you have to start paying all that money stuff for like your housing deposits. Like in the fall, they're not lenient with the deadlines. In the spring semester, they are lenient because they don't really take a lot of students in the spring semester. But the fall semester, they are very strict because they do take a lot of applicants then. So you have to make sure you're on time with your application. You also have to get your letters of recommendation. You need to have that, your letters of recommendation. So I already had that. I had this website called Interfolio.
Okay.
And with Interfolio, I sent the doctors, my professors, my mentors, the link to write the letter of recommendation. So I've had that profile forever. So usually when I was applying, I just most schools have access to Interfolio, where you can just let them know that okay, you have your letters of recommendation to Interfolio. So, but I don't think AUA had one. So what I did was, I think I sent my advisor. I can't remember how the process went, but I sent my advisor a link or something like that in the email, or basically an email of all my recommendations.
Okay.
I can't remember how that went through though, but she was able to get all my letters of recommendation.
That was from Interfolio.
Yeah, from Interfolio.
Okay, so you just sent the link to her.
I think so. I can't remember exactly how it was. It was either I sent her the link or I think there was a way you could email all the letters of recommendations from Interfolio to them, someone. To the advisor. So I think that was the process that I used, because I don't think they had it on their website.
Did you have to pay for Interfolio?
Yes, I do. So when I had it, my master's program, they gave us a discount at the beginning. I think it was $25, and then after that you have to pay a yearly fee of $45.
Okay.
So it's not that bad. It's a sacrifice you have to make. So U.S. schools, for if you're applying to MD schools, you apply to the AMCAS, and you have to wait to see if you have to do the secondary application. And after secondary application, they're going for an interview.
So wait, the primary application is through AMCAS?
Yes.
And then secondary
is also through AMCAS.
Okay, so the secondary is what? The school's like personal questions?
Yes, like probably like an essay or something that they want you to write about yourself. And then after that, when you send that, then they call you in for an interview if they want to interview you. And then after the interview, you know if you're accepted or not. Well, I mean, AUA didn't have a secondary application, and plus, I don't remember AUA asking for money for application, but I think they do now. But American schools, their applications are really expensive. We need the music. Bad DJ. Don't invite her for your wedding, for your DJ.
That's why I'm not a DJ.
Hey!
That's the one you like. So has it been so far studying medicine in Antigua? What's your coursework like? Are you enjoying it? Be honest.
The coursework is a lot. So basically it's like back to back, like every second there's always something to do. If you like, sometimes you just want to take a break, but you're just like, I have to do this. Like, you can't even take a break in peace because you know what you have to, you still have stuff to do. There's a ICM, those are like our clinical classes, and then you have just regular labs. The labs are usually like an hour long. The ICMs are 3 hours.
What is ICM, please?
Basically, it's a class where they teach you how to hone your clinical skills before you start your rotations in the hospitals. So basically, all those skills you need to learn before your bedside manners, how to ask patients for their medical history, how to get a diagnosis and all that stuff, how to jot down patient symptoms, how to listen, like how to type patient symptoms in the notes, how to document the notes, how to perform physical exams. So basically that's what we learn in ICM.
So how long is schooling in Antigua? How long does it take? So
usually they say 2 years in Antigua and 2 years in the US. So that means like it's 2 semesters per year. But at the end of the 4th year, they have like an exam called the comprehensive exam.
At the end of the 4th semester?
Yes, they have a comprehensive exam. And if you don't pass the comp exam, then you have to go to Med 5.
What does that mean?
Med 5 is the 5th semester. So Med 5 is like the shortest semester. I don't remember how long it is, but it's really short. That's where you basically, I think you only have a few weeks of lecture, and then basically you're studying for your comp exam again. You're gonna have to retake the comp exam, and you're studying for step 1.
Oh, so you're doing all of that at the same
time. So it basically helps you. If you can get a really high score, or at least a good score on the comp exam, if you can get a good score on the comp exam, then I think you should be good for step 1. So that's why the school emphasizes that if you don't pass the comp exam, you should stay for med 5.
So what are the options of like coming to the US? Like, where can you go?
Well, the school has like hospitals that are affiliated with.
Okay.
They have, I think they're affiliated with with hospitals more in the northern part. Like, I think it's not the eastern northern part, like New York, Maryland, New Jersey, Rhode Island, like around that area. It's better you go to different places, because that way you get recommendations from different doctors.
So not just staying in one place. So they don't have any places in the south?
Oh, they have in California. They have in Atlanta. I don't know everything by heart, but I know what they have in California, all the way in the west. They have in Atlanta. I think they had just one in Atlanta. So what I did was, thankfully I live in Atlanta, so they actually have shipping companies that ship barrels to Antigua. So I took 2 barrels the first semester, but that was because I had a lot of things I had to take, and I also had like some actually prepared food, so like when I get there I won't be hungry.
You shipped prepared food?
No, I didn't ship that one. I took that with me actually when I was going,
like on your flight.
Yeah, on my flight. I took like a bag of rice. Oh yeah,
a whole bag of rice.
A whole bag of rice.
Why?
And I haven't even eaten up to half the bag of rice.
Don't they have rice there?
They do, but it's expensive.
Okay.
Like if I knew, I should have taken like pillows. I put like an extra. I didn't take a blanket. I took like a flannel.
Okay.
Like they're light ones.
If you knew you would have taken pillows, are they expensive as well?
Yeah, pillows are expensive. So the school has like a cafeteria, and there's some like small shops, I guess, or small restaurants that you can go and order food. There's Subway there. There's in the school there's Subway. I think that's the only American store that a restaurant that I know that's in the school. But the other restaurants there's an Indian restaurant. There's also the rest are Caribbean restaurants, but they do make American food. It depends on what you want. They make pasta, they make burgers, fries, good milkshakes, and their smoothies are all natural fruits, so that's really good. They also have KFC in Antigua, but it's not on campus.
Is it like the same as the KFC in the US?
It is similar. The spices are better. I actually would eat the chicken in Antigua compared to the chicken here.
Is it like fried chicken, or is it jerk?
Yeah, they have different types of chicken. Depends on what you want. Transportation wise, as a first semester student, the school would advise you take the bus. So you have to pay, I think, $450 for the bus, and it comes to pick you up. I think they pick you up 3 times in the morning, and 3 times in the afternoon and in the evening. It's like different. So basically it depends on where you live. Like if you different apartments have different scheduled time pickups and drop-offs. So there are also some students that opted out of going with the school bus and decided to get their own car. The rich people. But getting a car is expensive. I think it's the minimum you would get is $300 if you're looking for a really good, reliable car. $300 per month. And they cover like if your tire breaks. It depends on what car insurance though. But you're able to drive around wherever you want. And actually they don't drive on the steering wheel is not on the left side like in the US. It's actually on the right side. So when I started driving, the first day I was so careful. I think I almost hit a car. Yeah, there's some people who rent taxis, and taxi drivers pick them up in the morning, picks them up. They have like scheduled times for pickup at school, for drop off at the apartment, and for grocery store shopping. Then there's also like independent taxis. The most famous one is Linden Taxi. I think he's the one who's in charge of most taxis. He is very reliable. It's a good taxi owner, and he has good drivers. So basically, sometimes when I have car problems and I don't have time to wait for my car to get fixed, I just text Lyndon and like, hey, I need a ride from my apartment to school, and he'll tell me, okay, I'll send someone. So usually, it depends. So usually, sometimes you just have to try to see if you can text them as early as possible, because they have to pick other people up from their apartments, and just pray that they're going to school, because if they're going to Epi or the grocery store or somewhere else. Epi is like the American, the famous American grocery store. That's where it's kind of like the Walmart of Antigua. Yeah.
And that's where like the things are expensive.
Yeah, that's where the expensive stuff, the prices are for American things. Like if you want to go to where you can find like cheap stuff like the Antigua brand, then you can go to the small stores. But Epicurean is actually the biggest store. It's like Walmart. There's everything there, from pillows to beddings to electronics to groceries to even they have like a side where they actually sell food, and their Chinese food is, oh my god, it's so good. So usually most of our classes, actually 90% of our classes, start at 8 a.m. in the morning. So the bus picks you up at 7:20. I think it picks up some people at 7:40, depending on how close you live to the school. I get on the bus, I go to class at 8 a.m. I think classes usually, because we have like different professors coming to teach. Some classes might be 2 hours, some classes might be only 50 minutes, so it depends. So we usually have a minimum of 2 or 3 professors that day, and all classes usually end at 12 in the afternoon.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, some days we don't have all classes. Some days we have what we call homeroom. Homeroom is basically not the whole class. So basically, you have the whole class, right, of 2024, and then you have the class of they break us up into like smaller groups of like I think 10 each. So we all each have an assigned homeroom. So we go into the homeroom and we discuss what we're supposed to discuss for that day based on our syllabus. So it's usually better and it's more beneficial if we actually study the day before for homeroom. So some days when we have homeroom, we can have homeroom for 3 hours and just have one professor. Or some days we can literally have no class, just homeroom. Both homeroom and classroom, everything together ends at 12. So after 12, there's no lecture. The only thing that keeps us late is if we have lab, and it depends on what lab you're in and according to the time. So I had lab, I think, from 3 to 4, but lab usually is from 1 to 5, and they break us up into, I think, 5 groups or 4 groups. And another day that we usually have class till 5 is when we have ICM. ICM is usually 4 hours, so basically it's from 1 to 4 p.m. We only have ICM, I think, 5 or 6 times per semester in a semester, and we only have lab, I think, 5 or 6 times too. If we don't have ICM or if we don't have lab that day, just depends on how you study. If you want to study in the school library, you can study in the school library or study at your apartment, or the school actually has study rooms where you can actually study. And if you didn't bring food, if you brought food, that's good because you get to save money. But if you didn't bring food, you can go to the school cafeteria and eat. So that's like basically how my day is. So and usually during my lunch break, if I have ICM, I use the lunch break hour while I'm eating my food to prepare for the ICM that I have for the next 3 hours. There's always something to do every day.
So is it more expensive or less expensive to school in the islands?
It's actually cheaper to school in the islands.
Like, is it cheaper by a lot or?
It's cheaper by a little. But there are other Caribbean schools that are actually cheaper than AUA. I know there are some schools that are more expensive than AUA too. So I guess I'm good. I'm happy I'm in AUA. So.
Well, thank you, Maiwa, for coming on Makeup Doc YouTube channel to answer all these questions. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, bye guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.
Don't I look pretty? Because guess what? Makeup doctor, she's got it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to follow Makeup Doctor on Instagram, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell button down below. Okay, thank you guys. Bye.